How you doing, Lulu? How you doing?
Oh, I'm
We're
doing
glad you're
great.
here.
I'm glad I'm here too. Yeah, just got back from my meetup today. It was
Yep.
fabulous. It was fabulous. It was my Massachusetts meetup. It was from Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Got home Thursday. A bunch of fabulous, fabulous women. A lot of first timers. A lot of people first time at a meetup and or first time in a van. Some people both. First meetup, first time out in the van,
Nice.
yeah.
Nice.
And my very favorite part of the entire meetup, I met Barb in person. Just to meet Barb and to hug her and hold her tight and feel her and pinch her. I was like, you're a real person. You're a real
Great. That's
person.
great.
It was great. She came to my house.
Aw.
And then we camped. I did a van tour of her van so that you can look forward to that. So it was good. It was
The
great.
real deal.
It was so good. Hello and welcome to Lulu's Way, Healthy Food, Healthy Life. My name is Lulu and I'm grateful for the opportunity to be your host this evening. In order to keep this meeting free from distraction, we ask that all in attendance please mute yourselves unless you're speaking. We also ask that you keep the video mode turned off if you're doing anything other than sitting and participating in this meeting so that we can minimize distraction. In this community, we gather to support, encourage, and inspire on the benefits of nutrition, weight loss, wellness, and the joy that comes from choosing to serve yourself well. We are not medically trained, nor do we have formal training in nutrition. We come together here for the sole purpose of providing support, sharing experiences, and promoting a healthy lifestyle. It may be wise to check with your healthcare professional with any dietary suggestions or advice you receive from this group, particularly if you have any health challenges. Individuals in this group may have different ideas on how to eat healthy. Just figure out what works best for you and do it your way.
Yeah. So I was talking to Lulu. We were texting with Lulu today, and I thought this was a good topic. It happened last night to me, and it's happened before. So I found it interesting. So just looking at our text message, just so I can get it right. So we all have our reasons why we're on this journey, right? So we have, we all know that mine is to be healthy so I can do more physically. But last night, and so many times before, I was asked, but don't you miss bread? Or don't you miss pizza? Or don't you miss insert whatever food item you want? That's was because I had friends over for dinner and I cooked them nice barbecue and I ate my food. And so the topic came up because I was eating something other than what they were having, but they don't care, but they were just asking this question. And not in a mean way, but just out of curiosity. So don't you miss these foods? And I thought about that and I said, I could, so my answer was, no, I don't miss them at all because as most of you know, dairy was a big thing for me, and it made me ill. So I don't miss anything that makes me feel bad, right? But what I got to thinking about was we can frame this in two different ways. We could frame it in a woe is me, I can't have the pizza, the bread, the whatever, or we can frame it, wow is me, right? So I get to have all this wonderful food and feel great. So a lot of things that Lulu has taught me over the last year and a half is, framing things in a positive way so that when you talk about it, I could have said, oh, yeah, I miss bread. Can't have it, but that's okay. I'm doing this. So, or I could just say, no, I don't miss it at all. As a matter of fact, I feel great because I feel 100% better physically. And, this is what I want for myself. I want to be better. I want to use food as medicine, not food as something that's going to harm me. And certain foods harm me. Not all foods are going to harm people, but certain foods harm me. And so I posed it as a wow is me, right? So yeah, wow, I am so psyched because I feel better. more energetic except for today. And, so I just felt like the topic was how will you address that question? Because we all get it, right? Don't you miss this? Don't you miss that? So I encourage everybody to have maybe even a stock answer of a wow is me stock answer versus a woe is me stock answer. Just say, hey, this is why I'm doing it, and X, Y, Z. So that's what I thought the topic could be today, and everybody could share. Perhaps this has happened to you. I know it's happened to me multiple times. People can't even fathom that I could live life without cheese, right? But if something hurts you, it's very easy to live life without cheese. And so if food is hurting us, it's very easy to say no to it. And even if it's not hurting us, make it empowering. Make people feel like, yeah, you're not a woe is me, you're a wow is me. And we're going to feel good about ourselves and, what we're doing to have a healthy lifestyle. So that's what I came up with.
The first thing I want to say is what you said, Barb, about how, it's easy not to eat something that hurts you. That's not true. There's still, I know people that eat and hurt themselves. It's like, I know, like a friend of mine, he can't do cheese. He can't do cheese, okay? Cheese makes him ill for a day. He told me he went out he goes, I didn't feel good all day Sunday. Saturday night I went out for dinner and I had the eggplant parm. And I was just like, why would you get that? And then be sick for a day? I haven't had it for a long time. But I said, but you could have said, like, hold the cheese, don't put cheese on it. No. So I'm just saying that it's not easy. What my point is that it takes a certain amount of strength and commitment and determination even to have things that you're allergic to. So,
okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Good you know point. What I'm saying? Yeah. So it's kind of like it's still choices. We still have choices, and there's, maybe if he was gonna eat that and choke to death and he couldn't breathe, maybe that would be more motivation for him to not have it. But he's willing to have a day with a sour stomach all day where he's feeling awful all day. That's what he's willing to give for a dish of eggplant parm.
Mm-hmm.
And so we don't all choose wisely. You know what I mean? We're not all choosing wisely. I also want to say that, like, when somebody asks you, do you miss that? It really can be as simple as just saying no. Or yes. Or sometimes, just very matter-of-factly, like, yeah, sometimes. But it's just like, it's okay. Like you can answer it truthfully if you want. And if you do sometimes miss those things, you can say sometimes, or you can say, yeah. But then you're saying, yeah, I miss them. I think about them maybe and I long for them, but I'm not having them. You know what I mean? Another thing that I try to do, because it's really hard not to do, because, you want to just preach to the world, right? But I don't want to be the preacher. I don't want to be anybody's, you come and listen to me on your own choice, by your own choice, But if you ask me, you just might, you might hear it, right? So, I don't want to make anybody feel like their food is inferior and mine is better, and that I'm choosing better, and really kind of pointing that out as if to say, I'm sitting here at this table taking really good care of yourself and the rest of you are not. Like, I'm not going to say that, obviously, and I want to try to not say. It's hard because almost anything you're going to say about yourself, everybody's really just going to think about themselves. They're going to think about themselves in relation to what you said, and they'll just think like, I'll just say, like, if I say like, oh no, I would never, I don't eat that because it's bad for you. It makes you, it makes my, and then it's what's on their plate. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of like try to be very gentle with that. So I try to keep my answer as simple as possible, and just as like, and I like to just make it like very light, like, I'll just be like, no, I'm all set. I'm all set. I'm all set. I'm good. That's what I like, And then if they want to say, well, what's good? What are you good? What's good? You want to, then I might talk about your food on your plate if you want to push me. But right off the bat, I just want to, I eat like this for me, not so I can just be like, I know people like are trying to understand it. And most people, if I'm explaining to them, most of them don't get it anyway. People don't understand anyway, and they'll just be like, everything in moderation, Lulu, everything in moderation. And I'll be like, yep. And I know. I mean, I don't need to debate. I don't need to defend myself. I feel like when I'm about to defend myself, I'm only going to do that to make myself feel better. Because I mean, I'm not here to like change you and have you see my way, and I don't need your stamp of approval. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like the minute I find myself defending myself or needing to defend myself, I want to stop, because I don't have to do that. It doesn't even affect really anybody, because you just, what's on your plate, just freely have it, enjoy every bite, and I just want what I have, and I went to this meetup this weekend, this past few days, and I just love that it's just like nobody like talked about food, nobody brought food out, it must be me. I don't know, because I watch a lot of meetups on YouTube, and there's like feasts to be had. They're doing like potlucks and stuff, and that's beautiful. It's a beautiful community thing. Let's do potluck. They're having dinners together, and I mean, I'm not going to promote that. I'm not going to set those up, obviously, and nobody else seems to do it either. And everybody just ate what they ate, and I don't know. I had people were coming by my van, and I was doing van tours and showing, everybody wanted to see it in person, and I'm like, don't go away, but I have to make my big ass salad, and then so they were like, you sure we can stay? Yeah. And I'm just slicing and dicing and talking and weighing and measuring my food, and had it all set, and it's simple but not easy, especially for those that are new to it. It's all very, very simple, and there's a way around everything if it means the world to you, if it means everything to you. But like I said, starting out, it's not easy. Putting down any addiction is not easy. And but you got to fight it. You got to fight through it until you don't have to fight anymore. It's like a great big exhale. It's like, I think I got this. So, when you get those physical cravings that end, when that ends, and that does end, but then you got the cuckoo head to deal with for the rest of your life, So that's what I'm just always trying to keep it fresh in my mind, that, when I'm here, I'm just one of you, really. I'm just one of you. I struggled with food, and now I don't. And, you struggle with food, and either now you don't, or you are in it to get to that space. And just know that, like, I can socialize with anybody, anywhere, and I just have what I need. And it's just, I mean, I think about all the times I felt uncomfortable showing up to people, to events, to weddings, to whereas hating myself because of my weight, and it would ruin the whole time, you know. And so now I can walk in there with my own meal and just totally be present for the event. And it's like, I'm going to worry about what people thought of me when I walked into the wedding fat, or I'm going to worry about what people think of me when I walk into the wedding with a Tupperware. Like, which one? You know, I feel like I can't be thin and show up at a wedding and make an exception and have everything that they have and then have the cake and have a few drinks and then go home and turn this button back on. There's no, I don't have an on and off switch. It's just, right now it's on and it just needs to stay on, you know? And I feel like if I turn it off, it's going to be off. I don't know for how long. So I'm just going to keep it on, and just answer that question honestly. Don't you miss pizza? Well, you know something? One time I had a pizza dream, okay? Now, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Pizzeria Regina. Anybody? I think it's a Boston thing. Yeah, okay, you're Kathleen, Boston. Pizzeria Regina, right? Pocari's Pizzeria Regina. Okay, so I got a Pocari's pizza. Now, this pizza is a particular, like, it has a particular flavor that, like, you would, to me, a lot of times, like, pizza's pizza, but this one has a very distinct flavor. Like, if you tasted it, you'd like, this is from Pizzeria Regina. I had a dream one night that I was eating pizza, and it was Pizzeria Regina pizza because I could tell by the taste of it, okay? In my dream, okay? And then I'm biting it, I'm eating it, and then like halfway through it, like my eyes just bugged out of my head because I realized what I was doing. I was like, oh my God. And my worry woke me up. And I woke up and I was like, oh, thank you, God. It was a dream. Oh, but I was like, wow, that was a freebie because I tasted that Pizzeria Regina. That was a total freebie. I had a few bites of a pizza. I haven't had a pizza, I can't remember how long, because even before I started this food plan 10 years ago, I was vegan for 22 years. Never had a Pizzeria Regina pizza. So it's been over 2 decades since but didn't I remember the taste like a good foodie? I tasted it while I was asleep. It was distinct, you know? And I was very, very happy to wake up and to know that I didn't do that. And then I'm just like, oh, I just had a free pizza. Free calories. Yeah, Jackie, you're right. Oh, God. But so I hope that's helpful. It's a good subject because I think at the beginning it is uncomfortable around people because people don't get it. And then you want them to get it. And then you realize nobody has to get it. I just have to get it. And I don't have to defend myself, and I can answer your question as simple as, do you ever miss that? No, I'm good. Yeah, but I'm good. Sometimes, but I'm good. You know, I mean, it just kind of squashes the discussion. As soon as you said, like, you know what I mean? Just by saying, I'm good or I'm all set, you know? Kind of just like, now what do you say? Now they're going to say, oh, yeah, but, well, no, I just said I was all set. You know what I mean? So I think that when people hear that, like, nah, I'm good. And especially when you're making it light, I think that people just, it's the end. They just go right back to their own plate. You know, that's what I think. Do you have anything else to say about that,
Bob?
That's great
advice. No, that's great advice. And you're right. You know, sometimes it's, you forget about the struggle when it's been so long. You know what I mean? But yeah, so yeah. I like your perspective on that. Thank you.
Yeah. Good. Okay. We have lots of hands raised. I forgot. I'm in charge today. I forgot. Let's see. Okay. The first one we have is Christy.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Christy.
Hi, Christy.
Hi. So, great topic because I actually struggled with this yesterday. And I learned my lesson, and I'm still learning my lesson, obviously. So I'm only 2 weeks, and I'm doing good.
Good.
Keep forgetting to take the stupid pictures to post on Facebook, but I did post that I pretty much eat like you, Lulu. I'm almost eating the same thing throughout the week, maybe something a little different on one day than, another day, but it's pretty much the same things. The rice, the potatoes, the salads, the veggies, the chicken.
Yeah.
I did have a little steak yesterday because it was my anniversary, but our anniversary. But other than the little steak, and I only did the little steak, and I had everything else was measured out good. But also, I learned a little lesson yesterday about I think when someone might ask me, do you think you wish you still could have this, or do you miss it? And I think after maybe a month or two, I'm definitely be telling them no, because I did have 2 small cookies yesterday. It was the first sugar I really had in almost 2 weeks. And so it was full of sugar and the flour. And I hope I'm not going to trigger anyone. I'll say it. I had black and whites. They're one of my favorites. And I was in so much pain in my stomach for like 2 hours after having it. And usually I would never be in pain for having a cookie. And I guess my body's just readjusting, not having so much sugar. And I was like, oh my God, I can't do that ever again, because it was horrible. It was like having extremely bad menstrual cramps or something. And I'm like, oh. And I told my husband, I go, I don't think I'm going to have cookies again. And he's like, that's good. He's like, maybe the torment was a good thing. Mm-hmm. I'm like, so I think if someone asked me, do you miss having cookies, or do you miss having this? I'm gonna be like, no, I'm feeling good. I'm not missing it. And I think I kind of needed to do that little cheat yesterday, because it really, it went from my stomach and triggered my mind like, oh my goodness, I really shouldn't be having this, because I've been doing so good for a while now, for a couple weeks. And now I said, oh, I'll just have, because they were little mini ones. They were like 2 inches. I was like, I'll just have 2 of them. I was telling myself this. And then shortly after I had it, it was the only thing that was bad. So I know that that's what it was. So I was like, wow, I'm not doing that again.
So it wasn't worth it. So it wasn't worth it, Kristen.
It wasn't worth it. It wasn't. And
Never
so now
is.
I'm going to keep that in my memory. Like, it's not worth having even just a little, because they were minis too. So I thought, oh, calorie wise, I'll be okay. But sugar wise, or even the flour too, I haven't had breads and flours in 2 weeks. And I'm like, already, I told my husband, already I'm feeling better. Just after 2 weeks, I'm starting to feel, and a pair of my shorts that are tight, they're still firm fitting, but they're not as tight. And I'm like, I think something's happening. And I'm trying not to weigh myself, but I'm so curious. But I want a big surprise on the first.
Yeah.
So on top of the pain that I had, I also think just feeling the difference in my clothes too is already starting to feel a little better. But and we're doing an outing this Saturday for my son's birthday. And I said to my husband, in a way, it was good that I had those cookies and felt that pain, because now on Saturday, I won't cave in to anything, because it was painful. It lasted like a good 2 hours. And I was like, oh, this is dreadful. I don't know if anyone else here has had their gallbladder removed from gallstones. I did 2 years ago. And when I had the pain for my gallstones, I thought it was like my insides were being twisted. And I told my husband, oh my God, it feels like gallstones all over again. And he's like, oh my goodness. And so I compared that pain to that. And I was like, I'm probably never going to touch another cookie or cake or anything, because just the feeling reminded me why I'm not eating these things. Mm-hmm. So I think it'll be easy enough for me to just say, no, I'm good. Like you said, I'm good.
Yeah, but it might still require some recommitting and rededicating. Like we talked about, like Barb, she feels it's easy to give up something that makes her feel sick. But then I have a friend that just says, I'm just going to do it just because it will only be a day, So it's kind of like, so it still might require a little bit of recommitting and just, it might not, if it's not easy to say no, just know that you might just have to just continually recommit to what you want.
Yeah.
You want those shorts to keep getting looser and looser.
Yeah, that too.
And every little thing off the plan interferes with that. Not that it's not going to happen, but it does interfere.
Any little thing, because they were the smallest cookies. But I am proud to say, because last week I told you guys I was going to be struggling with the sugar with tea and everything. I haven't had any tea, and I definitely haven't had any coffee. I haven't had sugar because I haven't been having the tea. I've been having the Dandy blend. It's starting to be tasty for me.
Good. Yeah, you have to acquire a taste for it, yeah.
And I haven't ate after dinner either. And I think that might be a really big one as well on top of the sugar, is just not eating after dinner.
Yeah.
I haven't needed to. I've been so full.
As soon as my dinner's done, I'm like, kitchen's closed.
I'm finally up to like 12 ounces of veggies I was starting off around 7 to 9, and now I'm up to about 12 ounces, depending on how hungry I'm feeling. But as I'm making it, I'm like, there's no way I can put more than that. I'm looking at it, like, I can't get up to the full amount yet. But I think it's now that I'm not eating anything in between the meals, and I'm not eating at night, I'm ready to be like you said, finally have my meals. So
good.
It's
good for you, Christy.
Better.
Good.
Keep coming. Good job, Christy.
Yep. Next is Carol. Hi, Carol.
Hello. Hi.
Hello.
So, I was thinking, I had a thought when Christy was talking about, it can be woe is me because I can't have it, or woe is me because I did have it, and now I feel miserable, so.
Yeah.
But the wow is me is, I think, the best alternative, because it's positive, first of all, and it's, it's something that you didn't do. You could have done, but you didn't. I have an example from yesterday. I get together with a bunch of other old ladies on Wednesdays and play cards, and we order from a local restaurant that delivers. And so I could have, I'm the one that it's here, so I post. So I take everybody's order and then I call it in, blah, blah, blah. So it actually wasn't here yesterday, but I did that anyway. And so the local place that we usually go to had a new special called pastrami Reuben. And it's like, oh my God, whatever. So I texted the group and I said, I think I'm going to have the pastrami Reuben. And it comes with French fries, of course, So two other people piped up and said, that sounds great. I'll have that too. Well, about an hour later, and I don't even call it until like 4:30 in the afternoon, but about an hour later, I came to my senses, and I ordered a salad instead of the pastrami Reuben. So it just felt so good to change my own mind. It wasn't as though I was the instigator, actually, because I was the first one to say, I'm having this pastrami Reuben. Not that anyone else cares, but I was so glad that I had time and that I decided to change my mind, because I'd rather have the wow with me.
Yeah.
So that's about it. It's tough. We call it dinner and done, Christy. That, my sister-in-law and I, who lives across the way here, we call it dinner and done. And it's been working out really well. Once upon a time it was ice cream every night, but I don't do that anymore. So and my husband will sometimes, but that's okay. I'm not tempted. So I think that's a big change for me. I always used to cave, but I just don't anymore. It's more important to be healthy than to be, I don't know, like to have those special foods. They don't even mean as much to me as they used to.
Mm.
That's it.
Well, that was good. You made a good choice. And just it
Yeah.
almost seems like, sometimes we need to recommit right in the middle of the day. Like, whether it's you've already eaten the cookies and then you recommit, or you already ordered something, you recommit, change your order. So I'm glad that it happened in that order for you, But it's like, think about that, just know that one day it will be a 24/7 commitment. And the Reuben sandwich won't even be like an option, But like until that becomes a part of you, you're just like, I'm going to get the sandwich. And then you're recommitted. Thank you, God.
And I got to tell you, I would have felt horrible.
Yes.
I probably would have had a bellyache. I've been disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
I would have felt just horrible if I had that, even though it probably tasted good. But
and Carol, I've spent way too many days disappointed in myself. Yeah. I don't want to feel that anymore. I don't have to feel that anymore about food. I just don't have to do that anymore. It's a choice, It's like, do I want this? I'll be like, I messed up again. Why can't I do it? Why can't I do it? And the reason, the truth is that I can. And we really all can, It's just simple but not easy, Simple but not easy. But it's really, when you think about it, it's just so simple. It's like the answer's no. It's just no. No, I don't eat that. Not I can't. That's the poor me. But the wow me is I don't eat that. I always say, like, if I say I can't eat it, that insinuates that I wish I could, but I can't. That I'm coming from a place of deprivation. But when I say I don't eat it, it's just like saying I don't smoke. You just don't. You don't say, somebody say, you want a cigarette? Oh, no, I can't smoke. You know what I mean? It's like, I don't smoke. I don't eat that. I just don't eat that, And it could be for a number of reasons. Like Bob said, there's allergies, and then there's foods that are contributing to bad health, and you have a health issue that you want to correct. And it's like, I don't eat that. I don't eat that because I have this disease. Not, I can't. Because you can. Because even people that get sick from their food are still eating it. So there is still that level of that strength that people need to find, even with the diseases, even with the allergies, I've just seen it. I've seen it a lot, that, and I've done it myself, where I've just, I've never been allergic to anything. And I've never had a disease that I had to give something up. I've always had a cast iron stomach. I always said I could eat like a 300-pound guy under the table. I know I could. I could drink them under the table too. And I believe right now that I could eat like a big, huge feast of French fries, pizza, cookies. I don't even think I'd have a bellyache. I honestly don't.
Wow.
I really don't think I would. Honestly, I don't think I would. I think you would, Bonnie says. I don't think I would. I really don't. When I was followed a vegan diet for 22 years, and then when I ate meat again, nothing. I didn't. It wasn't like, oh my God, we haven't had this in your belly for 22 years. Just ate it, and I I was advised to transition out of that, and I very carefully considered that because it was something that was very important to me. But nope, didn't bother me. So I just like, I don't want to be crazy again, and I don't want to be disappointed. Like you said, you would have been disappointed in yourself, Carol. You would have just been like, damn, did it again. But you didn't. So yay. Yay, Carol. Thanks for sharing that story. Next is Liz.
Hey, Carol, I got a quick question. Carol, did anybody know that you changed your order? Did they realize it, Carol? Anybody in the group?
You're muted, Carol. You're muted, Carol.
Nobody made any comments about it.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
They didn't say,
Well,
I thought
yeah,
you wanted
no,
a
they
Reuben.
Yeah.
They didn't say it?
Well, that's good.
See, nobody cares what
Yeah.
we're eating. See, that isn't a perfect
They
example.
they know how hard I'm trying, so they would probably would have commented if I did have one, So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
they're
they're focused on their own food. They had the Reuben. That was what was important. And
yeah.
they were like, there she goes being good again. Good. You look good.
Good job.
You look good. You look pretty in cobalt blue. I like that color with white hair. I got to get more cobalt blue. Who did I just call on? Liz.
Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, Liz.
Hi, everybody. Hi. I want to thank everybody for the good thoughts. I did lose my mom shortly after last Zoom, and I was only halfway up to Maine, and so I had to make the decision: do I continue going up to Maine or turn around and go back home? And since my guys were ill, I didn't want them to fly, so I turned around and went back home. And we did not have the funeral. We didn't know when that would be. So I feel very peaceful about it. I have so much gratitude in my heart. There's something about this way of eating that helps me dial in to notice so many things that I'm thankful for and grateful for. And I love this way of eating because it not only affects my body, but it affects my attitude and the way I think too. So that's beautiful. And I don't want that to go away. I love this. So that for me is such an encouragement to continue eating this way. When I'm asked this question, which does happen, and I just say, well, I do like that food. I remember liking that food, but I don't want to eat it because there's so many things about eating this way I prefer. So that's the choice I make, and I just leave it at that.
Mm.
That's it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thanks, Liz.
Yep.
So that's
short and sweet
nice
and to the point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's nice to hear that you're feeling at peace with this loss, and yep. God bless your family.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's just really that simple. This is just what I want to do. It's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And really, once you do this for a while, nobody asks. Nobody talks about it anymore. They just don't. I mean, my family doesn't. Nobody talks about it anymore. They don't expect anything else. They don't even put a plate out for me. They know. If I'm invited to my
stuff.
Yeah, if I'm going to my nieces for Thanksgiving, I'll go to my nephews for Christmas, whatever. Yeah, they know. You don't order me a plate. You don't consider me in the numbers. Auntie Lulu takes care of herself, and that's, I just show up and I might bring a salad, and there'll be a big salad in the middle of the table. I don't want that salad. I want mine. Just want mine. Nobody makes a salad like me, for me, because I make it perfect for me, because it's for me. And it's made by me. So it's like perfect. Nobody else could do that. So, good for you.
Thank you.
And you stayed on track. Even with a loss in the family. Food is not going to change. Yep.
Well, I mean, I did have a little bit of oats, but I recovered quickly and right away when I noticed, it was right away. Yeah. Driving, there's so many darn billboards of fried chicken. And so what I noticed myself doing is when I saw that, because it used to bother me a lot, and we would always stop not on the way up, but on the way back, as you know. But I didn't do that, and I avoided it, and as a result of it bothering me so much, it's taking so much energy of ignoring it. I ate something that I, was not on plan, but it was sugar free and, all that, but still it's not in my plan, but I didn't have any more, that was it.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I forgave myself for that. I understand that I was going through, what I'm going through, and I gave myself the grace, and I don't beat myself up for going off. And and as a result, I just picked myself up right away, and I just move on with my life because I like to live this way. This is what I prefer.
Yeah.
And
fried chicken isn't going to change, the situation with your family.
I make anything better. No,
it doesn't change anything. It just gives you two problems instead of just the one. You got that loss, and then the loss of your commitment to yourself, and you don't want to lose that too.
Yep.
So good. Okay, let's see who would be next. Bonnie is next.
It's the girls from Florida. Me and Liz always show up. I guess Florida people are talkers because both of us are. But hello, everybody. I didn't make it last week. I did watch the Zoom, though. It's been really interesting because I went a few weeks thinking, I have this licked, no pun intended. And I guess I got in like ketosis, maybe, I don't know. So I hear when you get in that, you don't crave anything and you don't want anything and all this, that, and the other. But then we had a few meetings, and it's really strange because everybody that said they were struggling with something, the next couple of weeks I started struggling with it. I was like, I can't go to those Zoom meetings if they're going to suggest to me and I start struggling. But it wasn't really that. But what I'm saying is it's mind-boggling to me that me, myself, and I, who was always thin most of my life and grew up thin and never had to worry about what I ate and everything, let myself become so overweight and have basically an addiction to food that every so often it still crops up. So, I mean, and when I say every so often, I frequently have thoughts, I'm going to have this or I'm going to have that. I talk myself out of it, but I want it. And I think it was even just today, I thought, I've been really good. And the hamburger that I like from the shop near me, I saw it in my hands. I saw exactly the way it looks, exactly the way it's toasted. I could think about how it tasted and how it smelled, and I was going to put that sucker in my mouth and eat it, but I didn't get it. And one reason is, when I first came, I don't know if it was the very first meeting, Barb said something, and when she said it, I thought, well, she must have gone off plan and eaten something and affected her stomach, because she made some kind of reference about if you go eat something with a lot of fat, you're going to regret that. And I have done that on plan. And guess what, Barb? I regretted it. And because just like Christy says, that gets out of your system and your system's not used to it. Your system gets clean and pure. And then you also have the mental anxiety of going off and everything. But I'm still losing weight. I also had to dig out some clothes that used to be too tight, and I'm wearing them. I've still got my vacation coming up, and I know Lulu and everyone else wants me to be 100%. I cannot guarantee I am. I've already talked to myself, but I also don't want to be crazy. I don't want to spend my vacation cooking because I work a lot. I'm single. I work from home. I have to take care of all of the house. I don't outsource anything, by the way, because I'm saving for retirement. So I feel like all I do is work. And I have the personality that I don't mind working, and I used to think working was fun. Now I don't really think working is fun anymore, but I still have to do it. So I don't want to spend the whole vacation in the condo cooking. I'm hoping to have a few things prepared. I've been thinking about all of this for months, as you can tell. The closer it gets, the more I know I'm not going to be able to get all these meals prepared and take with me. So, and the grandkids, they don't want to eat healthy anyway, and my daughter probably doesn't want to eat healthy either. So it's going to be easy, I feel like it will be easy at breakfast and lunch, because I'm thinking most of those we are going to be there at the condo. So, eggs, all the things I normally eat, then salad. I will take some of my meats and some vegetables, because at dinner, so I'm thinking dinner might be the one that's going to be the hardest. And the reason it will be the hardest is they don't give you any dadgum vegetables when you go out and eat. Even if you try to get vegetables, you get a skimpy little amount. So my plan is to eat vegetables before I go out. So number one, that's going to fill me up. So I am even forgetting to weigh every day. I later remind myself most of the time, but that's pretty good if I'm forgetting to weigh every day. And I know you guys don't, but that's me, and that's what I do. And that's what keeps me on track. So again, it's just mind-boggling to realize I feel like, I have an addiction more than I really even knew, because I've seen TV shows and movies and things about people who had addictions and like alcoholism, and they have AA and they get their coin or whatever it is, and they fall off the wagon, but they still think about it from time to time, and they have to have a sponsor and somebody they can call. I talk myself out of it, but I can't say that I still don't want it, and I still do. And I miss cheese. Sure, I can have cheese. I choose not to have cheese just because it's so high in fat. And I do a hybrid of Lulu's plans. So I count points, but I use Lulu's plans for the type of food I'm going to eat, which I would have done anyway, because I don't think, I'm not trying to figure out how I can scrimp in one area so I can have potato chips to make up for it, or cake, because I already know those things are not healthy for you. And it's not just about losing weight. It's about a lifestyle and a mindset and learning to eat healthy. Thankfully, I do like a lot of healthy foods. I just let myself go and got way off track. And again, seeing Lulu, and I watched her for a little while before I actually said, you know what, I've got to start doing something. And that was in February. So I might be out of another decade by my birthday. I actually started eating a little more food than I had been, because I was getting very hungry a lot. I'm like, well, the only reason and some of that was because I might not have had enough vegetables. So it's like, well, of course you're hungry because you didn't eat 16 ounces of vegetables. You ate 8. I have increased that. I know on the plan, your plan, you can have 4 ounces losing, but I hadn't been. I'm starting to have 4 ounces of chicken, and 4 ounces of meat. And I was having like 3 grains, 3. So I've upped those, and it does help. So if I eat all the food I'm supposed to have, then I'm probably okay. And tonight I had a very delicious chicken thigh cooked in the paprika and other seasonings, and green beans that I added some Mrs. Dash everything but the salt, which is like everything but the bagel or whatever that seasoning is. And I had some mini carrots. And on that, I put a little bit of coconut oil and some ginger and some garlic, and it was all totally delicious, and I'm totally satisfied. So thank you all for being here and sharing your stories. And I appreciate Lulu and Barb, because I'm like, one of them's not showing up tonight. They have got to just be so tired. Somebody's not showing up. And look how energetic Lulu looks. Well, appreciate you all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Bonnie. Thank you. One thing I wanted to note was about being at a restaurant when you say that, yeah, they give you very, very little vegetables. But what I've done in the past is I go to the side orders, and on side orders, a lot of times you can find just like steamed veggies, veggie of the day, steamed spinach or broccoli, and I'll say, I'll have 4 orders of that and a salad. And even then, it's probably not 16, but I do it. Well,
that's a great idea. So I'm going to be eating $20 for that. So I still might eat my vegetables before I go, but I appreciate
it's not cheap. It's not cheap to do it that way.
Not cheap.
Because you're going to spend like $4 for this much.
Exactly.
Broccoli. But to me, there's no price on me leaving a restaurant knowing that I am 100%. And I know you mentioned me being 100%, and I don't, it's not like everybody else has to do that. I'm just saying it's the only thing that works for me. So as long as if you're doing it 99% or 90% and you feel good, you're not always thinking about managing little treats or whatever. I'm not even talking to you in particular, Bonnie. I'm talking to everybody. I'm not talking to you, okay?
Right.
It's like, and if you're not, always kind of like thinking about it and your weight loss is stalling, then doing 90% or 95% is not working for you. But if it works for you and you're losing, you're not spending a lot of time trying to like manage food and figuring out I'm good, I'm bad, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm going to be good, I was just bad. I don't know. I don't do the good bad thing anymore. I've just eliminated it, because it doesn't.
I'm choosing to do but you know what? I had not thought of what you said. It's so simple. And I am going to put that in practice when we do go out and eat. So I appreciate you sharing that.
And like I said, it's not cheap to do that, but like I said, there's just no price tag on me leaving, knowing that I did it. And I don't even go because I want to steam my own broccoli because I steam it perfect for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. But I know like people do that with their social life and they have people they go out to eat with. And I did too until I just transitioned out of it. And you have a shit ton of money when you don't go to restaurants, let me just say. There's a lot.
You can afford to buy better food at home.
Which I
have also done watching you, which I know I need to do anyway, but I'm like, I'm not spending that money out so I can afford to buy some better products. I'm transitioning there as well.
Yep. What were you going to say, Bob?
I was just going to reiterate something that Pam had written in the chat, and something that you had said to me, that the other thing you can do is, if you feel comfortable doing this, is just bring your vegetables to the restaurant and order their salad and get a protein, and then throw the vegetables on top.
I've even thought about bringing my scale. So I know my family's going to be like, are you kidding me? I'm not going to bring the scale, actually. But, that's how I've been thinking and preparing for it. I know I'm going to do some off stuff. I'm not going to be 100%. I've already allowed myself to know that. But, when I get there, who knows? Maybe I will. But just given the situation, I don't see it being 100%. But I don't think I'm going to, I'm not going off everything. Yep. Because one, it will make you sick because you're not used to eating all that stuff. The other thing I've realized too, if I ate something off a plan, like one time I went out with my mother and I had a hamburger, no French fries or anything, no mayonnaise or anything on it. And that hamburger, it wasn't huge, but it should have been enough. I was still hungry. And what I've realized is that food does not satisfy you like real whole food does. And then you're triggered. Yeah. And then you wasted your time and your energy and your money and your calories on food that didn't even really satisfy you.
There's another point about going out to eat. If you have any control over picking the restaurant, I would pick Chinese because they have lots of vegetables there.
Right.
And sometimes the whole meal is vegetables, right? So you get, I think it might be called Buddha's Delight. Is just all veggies,
Okay.
And I think you can say, I'll have it with chicken. And I mean, you can look at the menu and it will say steamed chicken.
Right.
And it will say steamed veggies. You don't want the sauces. Anything that's thick and clinging to everything definitely has sugar if you're in a Chinese restaurant. You just say, I want a plain stir fry.
To eat Asian for sure.
Yeah.
Like
plain,
that.
I'll just say, just give me a plain stir fry. And then I'll say, do you have any chili oil? Can you put it on the side? And then I want that on the side. I don't want them to cook with it because they'll dump it. And then I'll just have this big plate of veggies, and then I can eyeball, or if I have my scale, I'll weigh it. But just drizzle that chili oil on it. It's got steamed chicken, and then your rice on the side, the white rice or brown rice, it doesn't matter. and just eyeball that, that's a great way to have, that I could put a dinner together. But I don't even want to do that.
One other thing, real quick, Barb, because you said that your friends ask you, don't you miss that? I'm sure my grandkids, because they're 11, 8, and 5, and I'm sure they're going to be like, Mimi, don't you want to have some of that? Don't you miss that? And I'm going to be honest. Well, sometimes I do, but you know what? I'm happier with this.
There you go. Here's your answer.
I've got that weight off. My health is better. And I'm happier, so I'm okay with this.
And really, who could argue with that? You know what I'm saying?
Right. And I hope it's an inspiration to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Good.
Thank you so much, Bonnie. Next we have is Nicole.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Nicole. How are you,
Happy
honey?
Thursday night. Well, I just wanted to say, for me, this past week, I went to Fargo with my work group for business, and I support an IT leadership team at my company, and so it was a really fun trip. We do this every once in a while where we go. So we went to see Microsoft in Fargo, and I was able to influence some of the food choices where we were going to have meals, and then some I wasn't. But I will say that team, they know that I'm on a health journey. And so I felt totally comfortable, bringing a lot of my own things. We carpooled up there, and I had my cucumber, egg, tomato business, and I made them peanut butter cookies. My husband wanted peanut butter cookies, so I made a big batch. I brought them for the road, and they're like, "You're not going to eat these cookies?" I'm like, no, I want you to enjoy them. And I was really kind of thinking, other people can enjoy whatever foods they want. And I say to myself, I want to enjoy, not enjoy that food, because it leads me down the wrong path, period. And I kind of liken it to when I'm deciding to eat something, it's like I'm punching a ticket, and I want to go where I'm going. I don't want to get my ticket punched and go off into, the past or addiction or cravings. And so I really am protective of it for myself, because I know what I've been, and Christy, when you were talking about your past week, maybe the cycle of overeating chart would help you too, because I look at that and I look at it, just to say, yeah, that first bite, I used to rationalize it like, just whatever would come into my mind, just because, it's a craving and you want it, or you think, how am I going to go through the rest of my life without this? And you start thinking like that. And, I just, I don't want to punch that ticket anymore, because I can't control it. It goes all sideways on me, and one of the dinners we had, I called the restaurant in advance, and I asked them, because really it was like a brew pub, and all I could find was like salmon, and I'm a pescatarian, and vegetables. And I'm like, what do you put on that salmon? And they're like, oh, we have a seasoning and a mix. And I said, okay, well, if I order that, could I just get it plain with no seasoning, period? And they said yes. And then I asked about the veggies. Could I get the veggie steam? No, we put them in a pan with oil and some seasonings. And I said, is there any way I could get them without the seasonings and just the barest amount of oil? Because I didn't know what that would look like if they just covered it in oil. And they said yes. So I got that, and the veggies were hard as rocks, and it wasn't enough, but I had some in my purse, and I had my rice cakes, my carb, because they didn't have any rice, so I had brought things. So when I got back to the hotel room before we went and socialized in the bar, I raced up and ate my carbs. So it was a little disconjointed, but I was like, I am going to do it, And so then we got to the bar, and everyone was ordering drinks, and I asked if they had decaf iced tea, and one of my coworkers looked at me like, what? And they didn't, and I said, well, what do you have this decaf? So I had coffee, and he was a little bit like, well, don't you want to enjoy something? And I thought to myself, I want to be enjoyed. And I just said, I am enjoying this time. This is a blast, so it just took a little. And Chris, I give you a lot of credit, because you had said something about going to a a work lunch where you couldn't control the restaurant early on. And that got me thinking, because, we still work. Some of us on this are retired. Some of us are still plugging away. And so I thought, I need to be ready for work trips, for work lunches. And I need to have a plan, because I don't want to go off, And I wrote everything you said down. And, because I remember you just ate like sweet potato fries. I remembered everything, because I was like, what am I going to do when I'm in Chris's shoes? So, it just felt great. It felt great. And it felt a little weird, because I thought I got to race upstairs and eat my grain, but I was like thrilled with it. So it's so doable. And to me, it's the top priority for me too. It's just what it is. So, I just wanted to share that. And then I also wanted to say, Lulu, a long time ago, I had a dream that you were eating ice cream. and I wasn't, but, you were. And I wrote to Sheila and I said, I had a dream Lulu was eating ice cream. And she said something like, girl, that's a dream. So, and in my dream, I was like, oh no, oh no, and I think I was projecting a little bit maybe in my dream, but, so it is really funny kind of what you could do in your dreams. But that was kind of early on, when I might have still been, thinking about things, and it wasn't as clear to me, like I really can do this. So anyway, I just wanted to share that. So you dreamt you ate the pizza and tasted it, and I dreamt you ate the ice cream.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny. I had somebody that just left a comment on, it might have been on Facebook. I think it might have been in the women's meetup group, maybe not this group, I forget. They said, are you down south? Are you down south? Because I think I just saw you at this ice cream shop. Did you see that, Pam? Yeah. And I was just like, and then I didn't respond to it yet, but other people reply for me. Oh no, Lulu wouldn't be in an ice cream store. People speak for me now. Oh no, Lulu would never eat that. No. But I was like, nope, that wasn't me. But well, good for you for managing that work stuff, Nicole. Geez, when you want it, and when you want it bad and you're done, you do it no matter what.
And people start to know how much it means to you. Like my boss said, I'm so proud of you. You're doing really great. And that was kind of private, he said to me. And another one of our security officers, she said, you're doing so good. And so, it's just the people around you who care about you. And, at work, you're just really, you have to do your job and whatever. But the people you make connections with, they're on your side, Yeah. And it feels great. But if you had to resist and just be strong in yourself, that's okay too. You have to do that with some people, especially family. Family can put more pressure on you to eat the foods you've always eaten and they're making for you. So yeah, I like that idea, because already for like this weekend, my nephew's graduation, my sister said, what are you going to eat? Can you just worry about your own food and will you take care of it? And I said, absolutely. That's the plan. There will be nothing there I need to eat. Yeah. So yeah. It starts happening. Yeah.
And you'd just be the easiest guest anybody could ever have. You don't have to think of one thing. I don't have to tell you, oh, does your vegetables have oil and seasonings? And can you give me the salmon plain? It's like, I am going to be so easy. Nothing. I'll just show up with what I have and I'll just enjoy. I like that. I'm going to be in joy. That's what I'm going to enjoy, is being in joy.
Yes.
There was something else I was going to say to you. So many people in my life, over all my life, have seen me on the diet, off the diet, on the diet, off the diet, But once you get this, it's just who you are. It's not what you're doing. It's who you are. It's not like, oh, I'm on a diet right now. And then of course people are going to be like, why don't you get something? Because it's almost like they might as well just say, you always end up cheating anyway, because we all do, right? But, for me, it's the past. So now I think if I ever ate anything at a table, anywhere I go with anybody I know, they'd probably go, oh, just like you did in your dream with me having ice cream. Oh, what just happened? What are you eating that for? It would just be the weirdest thing if I ate anything. It's like nobody even asks, nobody thinks about it. It's just like, this is what I do. And as a result, I have the body and the health and the peace of mind that I want. And it's not a free ride. It's not a free ride to have all of that. You gotta work your ass off for it, And so good for you.
Yeah, and sometimes that work is, well, a lot of it is all internal dialogue, internal commitment, So yeah.
Yep.
Thank you guys.
Yeah, good for you, Nicole.
Yeah, great job, Nicole.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Candace is next. Hi, Candace.
Hi, Candace.
Hi. Good to see you.
There's one thing. Yeah, you too. One of the things that I've noticed in the past, generally in the United States, our bodies do not crave food. We get enough nutrients that we're good. What's craving food is our brain. It's our mind. It's our all the things in your mind that remind you of something else. So what I started doing was when I had a craving, like, oh, I just have to have a piece of cake, or I want a hot dog, I took my journal and I started writing down, what do I expect it to taste like? And then what am I doing in my craving? And I'm picturing myself the last time maybe I had a hot dog. Well, I was at 4th of July. We were eating outside. The kids were all there. Or if it's a cake, I'm like, okay, well, last time I had cake was at Kent's party. And, and even though the cake may not have, I don't remember what kind of cake it was. I remember eating cake and it tasted good. So then I started thinking, okay, am I craving? Is it really in my mind and my body or my mind, am I craving a food? But what am I really craving? And I discovered I was craving the experience. So if I started craving cake like I had at Kent's birthday party, Kent's my oldest son, I thought, I'm going to call Kent. I think I'm missing talking to him. And so I would call him and that would stop that. It would just kind of stop that craving. Or like 4th of July, I tell my husband, why don't we go sit on the patio and eat dinner out on the deck tonight and be outside and just socialize. And I found it really helps curtail the craving and kind of getting in front of it and before it runs off with you. The other thing I've discovered is when I've given into a craving and eaten something, part of it may be old age and you get older, you lose your taste for a lot of stuff, but the food never tastes like what my imagination, right, what I thought it was going to taste like, or maybe the texture isn't good anymore, or there's just something not good. And then the last thing is I've noticed the longer I'm on this, I can't eat food that isn't really fresh. I can eat cooked food, but like if vegetables start turning in my fridge and I haven't, they're still edible, but just not really fresh, I throw them out on the compost pile. My compost pile is actually feeding the deer and rabbits and all the live things. Because if the food's still decent, they'll eat it. So I found the longer I'm doing this, the fresher I want everything. And then just really think about your cravings. What's behind the craving? What's going on? What are you picturing? What are you feeling? Are you lonely? Do you need to socialize? I had one, and then change it. So sometimes I'm able to say, okay, that craving is a food, but what's a good experience I had that didn't involve food? And I think about when I was younger, I lived in Hawaii, maybe I sit out on a porch and I had tea and ate some fruit or something and really enjoyed that. So I'll go in and make myself a cup of tea and take the fruit and try to have that experience that was positive rather than breaking down having cake. Journaling helps with that. see what's behind that craving. There's something else behind it.
Mm. Yeah, very
That's
good.
it.
That's
Thanks.
that's very good advice.
Thank
Because
you, Candace.
addiction. I consider addiction. I know there's a physical part of it where our body physically craves it, but I think I agree with you that it stems from the mind, and I believe that addiction is a form of a mental illness. You know, it's like, and I mean, I would say that, you know, I am in good health other than the mental illness of addiction. I think, because I used food addictively, I used alcohol addictively, and I used cigarettes addictively. And just because I'm not doing them anymore, I still have the same brain, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but I can just quiet it though. It's quiet. It's so quiet. I'm so grateful. You know, I'm so grateful for the quiet. Thank you. Last but certainly not least would be Chris. Hi, Chris.
Good night, everybody. How are you? I just love our group. Every week, you know, the discussion is just phenomenal. And, you know, I have so many notes here, but I wanted to pick two things that you said, Lulu. First of all, you said nobody has to get it. And that is so true. And the longer we walk the journey, the easier it becomes for us to accept that nobody has to get it and to embrace that. And I find that I can put people in groups. So you've got the family who know how sick you've been and how you're going on this journey, who from time to time will still say, do you want to have a little bit of this? My answer is always, nope. And their next question is, what do you bring to eat today? And I'll say, you'll see in a minute when I put my plate out. Then you have the people that you work with who get it, but sometimes don't, who will still want to order food when we're ordering lunch. And the answer is always, nope, I'm not going to have that. And then you have business acquaintances, like Nicole touched on it. You end up in a lunch where you just weren't prepared. How do you deal with this? And so I have a lot of lunches, and, you know, I live in a small town. If it's in my town, you know, the restaurant I'll call before, and I end up just having a salad, usually. And I have my lunch in the office, you know, so I can have my proper lunch, and I'll have a salad. Well, it was interesting because there's a group of women that we have lunch with, my boss and I, from time to time. And there's sometimes people are watching you. So there is a woman in the group. This is the third time we've had lunch. And she picked a Chinese restaurant downtown. But she had been observing. She's never known me to eat any other way except the way I eat. And she actually, in the group text, said, hey, you know, I was thinking, Chris, I picked this restaurant. Is there anything you can eat there? I noticed you eat differently. And I thought, wow, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's never happened before. That's never happened. I thought that was really cool.
Yes.
And yeah, it gets easier to just embrace who we are and where we're going. And at a certain point, you really just don't give a hoot. This is who you are. This is what you're going to do. And the second thing that I found really interesting in what you said, and it has to do with mindset, and several people talked about that tonight. And you talked about the on and off switch. And I remember in the past making jokes with people, oh, if I could just turn off this eating switch. But your take was different. Your switch was on, but it was on for what's good and what serves you. And that just really blew my mind. I don't have to turn anything on. I need to turn on what's good. Yeah. You turn it on and you keep it on. That's really phenomenal for me. I mean, you have no idea. It was like, wow, okay. That's a different take. There's nothing wrong with me because I've turned on what's good. Yeah. I don't have to turn it off because I want it on.
Want it on.
I want this way on all the time. So thank you for that. I really appreciated that. That's phenomenal. Really good. It's a mind. It's a mind thing.
Yes.
No.
Yeah. Right.
Turn on what's good for you. So I really have my ear really cool. So yeah, really enjoying tonight's discussion. Well, I enjoy every week, but you know, it's really great. Thank you.
It's nice to get those snippets, right? Something that resonates with you.
Yeah, just blows your mind. You know. Yeah. And it also shows you your journey also. as you go through the journey, how your mental state changes. So it just told me, I still got work to do. I still got work to do to really get that mindset where, I've got it on. It stays on.
Yeah,
no
and that's when the peaceful, that's when it's quiet, and that's when the peace, because, no matter what's going on up here, if you're not eating, you're going to get your weight results. But, if you're following the plan, you're going to get your results. But how about doing it with a nice, quiet, peaceful mind, Just embracing it, and just loving it and saying thank you to yourself. Look in the mirror and say thank you,
Yes.
And there was something else I was going to say to you. It was about I was thinking about, like, a lot of times at work, there's like free food, like the company's going to pick up the tab and all that. But you know what I learned? There's no such thing as free food. It's not free, because you go have it. Maybe you didn't pay any money for it, but you'll pay a price for it. So when I had to completely think differently about, because there's, like, the office, there's lots of free food, and I just was like, it's never free. It's not free. And didn't we think of you doing the electric slide the past few days?
I hope you all danced from.
We did. We did the electric slide, and I thought of you.
Yeah. Looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, I got a lot of work to do on the video. Oh, lots of footage. We got Kathleen. We got a few minutes, Kathleen. Hi.
It was so nice to hear everybody. Hi, everybody.
Good to hear you.
Nice to hear everybody's comments. I was glad to hear Liz checked in to know that she had a safe trip home, because I was thinking of you, and as we all were. But what I really wanted to say was, Lulu, on the Facebook page, you had talked about the collagen peptides. Someone had asked about that Vital Nutrition or some brand, and you had suggested these. And I had been looking for something, and I just want to say, if anybody's looking for a collagen, love it, love it, love it. I noticed within 3 days an increase in my energy and my mental clarity.
Really?
And I have some skin issues, and that was one of the reasons I looked up some of the keratin and the D3 and stuff like that, and I've seen an improvement. I've been taking it for about a week now, so I just want to say, if anybody's looking for a collagen peptide,
how do you take it?
Great.
How do you take it?
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Like, I read on Amazon, everybody was saying they just put it in their coffee. It has no taste. And I'm like, I don't know about that. Fish in your coffee? I put a scoop in my coffee in the morning, and it's fine, absolutely fine.
Huh.
I just it has a scent to it, and I do notice maybe a little bit of like a I want to say slime, but it's really not a slime. It might be because I love seafood, but no, there's really no taste. Like the first day, I think it was more in my mind. Love it.
Huh.
You could easily put it in an herbal tea, or it has no flavor really at all, and it instantly dissolves.
Yeah, I have it in my afternoon shake, but yeah, just right in water. And when I was taking extra, for my knee, I was taking it 3 times a day, but I only have that one shake a day. So I was just having it in the morning, just in water. It tastes like nothing. It just dissolves instantly.
Tastes like nothing. Yeah, I was thinking that must be. I had watched the video of your supplements, and I was thinking, oh, this must be what she takes in the afternoon. And I do like having something like that. And I used to do beef collagen, but I really, really like this. It doesn't clog up like the beef collagen. It just totally disappears. So that's all I.
Yeah, and it's good. It's clean. It's a good, clean product. It was the specific one that was recommended to me by the very wise woman out in Iowa.
Yeah, I'm very happy. So I just wanted to say thank you for recommending that. It was very helpful.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
That's all.
Kathleen,
yeah.
Kathleen, can you either post it here or on the Facebook or both even? The name.
Yeah, I'll put the link up right now from my Amazon account. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Kathleen, for sharing.
Thank you, everybody.
Okay.
Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody, for sharing. Just a wonderful group of ladies. Oh, my goodness. I just left a wonderful group of ladies, and I come home to a group of beautiful ladies. I got a group of beautiful ladies out on my lawn in the chairs. And it's just, I'm so blessed.
It's
So
good for
blessed with
Lulu.
all these fabulous people. Jeeps. Woo.
Oof.